Good evening and welcome to the Sugar Pond Manor Neighborhood Watch meeting. I am Gloria Kelly, the Neighborhood Watch liaison for the Village of Wellington. Joining me tonight, we have our village manager, Jim Barnes, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Deputy Harper, and Wellington's Public Information Officer, Liz Nunez. Also on the line, we have interim Neighborhood Watch Captain, Jacqueline Hutman. Thank you all for attending this Neighborhood Watch meeting this evening. As a reminder, all attendees are on listen-only mode, and this meeting is being recorded. If you have any questions during this meeting, please submit them in the Q&A icon, which is visible by tapping your screen on your mobile device or hovering your mouse over your screen if using a desktop or laptop. The icon will then appear on the top or bottom of your screen. We will answer any questions at the conclusion of the presentations. At this time, I would like to introduce our new village manager, Jim Barnes.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Gloria. I'm not sure if you can enable my video, then you'll be able to
yes, let me do
see
that.
me. No problem.
Oh,
all right, great. Thanks a lot. Again, thanks for everybody for joining us for this evening's Neighborhood Watch meeting. Hopefully, if there's any questions specific to anything village related, I can already provide additional information that perhaps Ms. Kelly, Deputy Harper, or Ms. Nunez can't provide, but I'm sure they can probably answer just about any question you guys have. But recently started in this position with the village, but have been here for almost the last 18 years. And just some things happening around the village that I might be able to share with everybody as we go through and are continuing our work amidst all the COVID-related restrictions or COVID-related limitations we have. We continue to still have business going on here at Village Hall, and our other departments continue to work on village projects around the village. You'll see our Public Works and Utilities folks continuing to work throughout on all the maintenance as well as new capital projects in the village as well as in our parks. We do have different specific project meetings scheduled over the next several months to try and bring more information on projects, both internal to Wellington as far as village sponsored projects, as well as public development projects that may be coming through the process. Our goal being trying to have more engagement and outreach to the residents in advance of those projects so that we can answer any possible questions that residents may have related to village rules and regulations, as well as any information that we have from those respective project applicants. Additionally, one thing we also are working on and continue to work on is partnering with our schools as they go through an interesting time for the students amidst COVID, where we still have some students working virtually from home or elsewhere and not on school campus property, while maintaining on-campus in-person learning opportunities for students at our elementary, middle, and high schools. We have a long-standing partnership with the school district and the 11 Wellington schools, and have continued to do that even in these difficult times by both combining our programs that we already offered to them previously in person and adapting those to a virtual format so that both their in-person learners and virtual learners can participate in those programs like Civics 101 and our high school program with the Students Working to Achieve Greatness, or SWAG program. And so we've made that adaptation to go virtual so that we would allow participation from all students. Lastly, we have some different playground improvement projects at existing neighborhood parks. And we also have a playground that will probably start sometime later in April here at the town center off of Forest Hill near Lake Wellington, in addition to the existing playground that is very popular with our residents at Scott's Place. One other last thing as far as projects happening here at the town center, we have a construction project, the last phase of what our Promenade Boardwalk project entails, which is the installation of the docks on the promenade, which is causing a temporary closure to the boat ramp on Forest Hill Boulevard accessing Lake Wellington. And hopefully that should take about 30 days and be complete by the end of March. Other than that, I'll stay on and hopefully, like I said, be able to assist and answer any questions or clarify any issues that might come up that otherwise the staff would handle as well. Back to you, Gloria.
Thank you very much, Jim. Next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Nunez, our Public Information Officer.
Hi, everyone. Gloria, thank you so much. So my name is Liz Nunez. Like Gloria mentioned, I am the Public Information Officer for Wellington, and that basically means I work in the communications department, and I handle all our community outreach, so social media, our website, any videos that you see out there that comes from the communications department. So today, I want to take a few minutes to walk you through some of the ways you can find information and stay connected with the village online. So I'm going to share my screen with you and walk you through our website. So our website, for those of you that don't know, is wellingtonfl.gov. When you get here to our website, you'll see this big banner, and this is the information we want you to know right now. So COVID-19 update, our Wellington 360 photo, where we take a photo every day of the year documenting this year. Let's move. So all the things that are happening right now, you're going to find it right here on the top. You just go ahead and click there and you'll find more information. As you scroll down, we have this section right here, which I really like, where you can find information on paying for things like code violations, business licenses, applying for grants, finding different, things like hurricane information. So all that is going to be right here really quick, so you don't have to search it on the website. Next, you'll find this other banner right here where we also have other important information, that a little blurb of things you need to know about. And right next to it, we have our meetings and events calendars. This is where you're going to find about upcoming neighborhood watch meetings, different events like our food truck series, our Wellington Green Markets, movies. This area, I invite you to check back every week because we update our calendar on a daily basis. The next area is what we like to call our latest news area. So here we have, again, other things going on in the village that we couldn't fit over there at the top. Jim mentioned that boat ramp closure. You'll find that there. You'll find, information about our food distribution and many, many more things. So that's a good place to check, and we update that on a daily basis as well. And then when we get to the bottom of the page, this is one of my favorite areas here. This is our Facebook and Twitter kind of snapshot. So for those of you that don't have social media or don't care to look on social media all the time, this is a great place to find what we're posting, on a daily basis on social media. You could find it right here without having to have an account or log in. This is very useful come hurricane season time. A lot of people aren't on social media, and this is where we post. It's the quickest way we get information out. So this is a great resource to find. Lastly, I want to mention to you, if you haven't heard about our alert notification system, it's called Alert Wellington. And I want to show you where it is on the website and where you could sign up really quickly. So if you hover over this community tab on the top, the first option is alerts. When you click on that, it takes you to our alerts page. So as I mentioned, Alert Wellington is our notification system, and it's a mass notification system. So that means it allows us to get you critical information about whether it be boil water notices, road closures, hurricanes, evacuations, whatever it be. You can choose whether you want to receive an email, a text message, a phone call, and that way you're not having to check for the information and find it yourself. It comes right to your smartphone. So on this page, there's more information about our alert system. You can read about it, and you could sign up here in just a couple easy steps at the bottom. So I invite you all to visit our website. We have a lot of information there, almost anything you need to know. And if not, you let me know and we'll make sure to add it to the website as well. And I'm here if you guys have any questions, any kind of input that you have on the way we send out information. We always like to hear from you. How do you get information? What do you want to hear about? And that's very helpful to us in the way we kind of craft our messages and get information out to you. So I invite you to ask me any questions. Please type it in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer it. Thank you. Back to you, Gloria.
Okay, thank you very much, Liz. And I do have one question that came up that this resident cannot hear the meeting. So what I can do about that is either you can sign back in to the meeting link to see maybe if it's just your computer speakers, or this meeting is being recorded. So for all of those that are attending the meeting, as well as those that missed the meeting, we will be sending this out. So I apologize if there are any technical issues right now for anyone on the line, but we will be sharing the email or the meeting recording after this. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. If you have not already stopped by, I invite you all to stop by the Twilight Green Market. The Twilight Green Market is a true community market featuring fresh farm to fork produce from farmers and growers, in addition to a variety of other vendors. The Twilight Green Market takes place on Fridays from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and will be ending on March 26th. If you are looking for something to do after you visit the Twilight Green Market, register on Eventbrite for the movie night at the Wellington Amphitheater on Fridays at 7 p.m. You must register through Eventbrite to attend, but the event is free. Please also remember to check out the website for our COVID-19 updates. Join us for the Food Trucks in the Park, featuring a rotation of favorite food trucks at various park locations throughout Wellington. Select locations will feature either 1 or 2 food trucks each week, Thursday evenings from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our Parks and Recreation Department is now using a new cloud-based recreation management solution, CivicRec. This new mobile-friendly platform provides users with a more intuitive, easy-to-navigate system for browsing and registering for parks and recreation activities, classes, sports, and youth leagues. Are your kids looking to start a new sport? Our next session of our youth tennis program begins March 29th and runs until April 29th. Please visit wellingtonfl.gov/tennis for more information. Wellington has opened the 2021 Great Neighborhoods Grant Program. This grant is funded by the Village of Wellington and provides a 50-50 match up to $15,000 for eligible homeowners. Please visit wellingtonfl.gov/grants to view the approved project list, applicant eligibility requirements, and frequently asked questions, and to apply online through our online application portal. Lastly, this watch group no longer has a watch captain, and in order to continue our neighborhood watch program here in Sugar Pond Manor, we need block captains. These block captains are an integral component to keep each block or street actively involved in crime prevention efforts, as well as the important process of information exchange between neighbors, PBSO, and the Village of Wellington. We are looking for residents to become block captains for the 10 to 15 homes in their area. You would be responsible for sharing the latest village news and programs with your watch group email list. The block captains act as Wellington insiders and share all of the latest news with their block groups. If you are interested, please email me and we can schedule a meeting to learn more about our neighborhood watch program and how you can become a block captain today. And next we have our Deputy Harper from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly, and good evening to everybody in attendance. Usually when we have the neighborhood watch meetings, I start with the theft metrics for the area that we're having the meeting for. I'd like to concentrate on home, vehicle burglaries, or any types of theft. What I'm glad to report is since the start of the year to today's date, the only theft that we've had in this particular area is a stolen tag on Azure Lane near the start of the year. There haven't really been any other incidents. Really, the side effect to that is we're seeing a lot of those metrics down as a result of COVID and the fact that everyone is home. So we're getting the unique and unfortunate payoff of having, crimes that are usually of opportunity be thwarted for the fact that there are a lot more people working from home, staying home. There wasn't school in, so there's a lot more eyes on the neighborhoods and not a real chance for people to get started with the criminal element. That being said, we still want to see everybody be vigilant on what is happening in your neighborhood, along with making sure that the vehicles that are in your driveway are properly secured and that none of your personal items that you have, whether it be a laptop, firearm, anything of value isn't left and in there in plain view, which will entice somebody to head to your vehicle. A lot of the crime that we're seeing nowadays is they will show up to your home early hours of the morning, test the door handle. If the vehicle is open, they're looking for primarily electronics, anything else that they could possibly sell for value. So the extra distance that you go to not leave your vehicle unsecured or not to leave any valuables in there. We'll see them move on to greener pastures. And if they're not successful, they'll tend not to travel those areas again. So please keep that in mind. As well, I am aware of some of the issues that we've been having in some of the parks recently. If anybody here believes that lighting or any other contributing factor from the neighborhood is a reason why we might be seeing some of that suspicious activity, please feel free to share that in the meeting tonight. The big power of the neighborhood watch is that there's a difference between some of the patrol elements that each officer has and you as a homeowner who live and is invested in that community, having unique knowledge of, let's say, a pass-through that gives quicker access to a neighboring street, or maybe there is a particular group of individuals and or kids that are showing up at a certain time. All of that data will allow us to see if it's a problem that improvement to the park will fix, or whether that is a patrol or operations issue that PVSO needs to be aware of. So with that, hopefully we have some questions in the chat in regards to anything that I spoke about or any general questions I can answer for anyone in attendance.
And Deputy Harper, I do have Miss Hutman on the line as well, the interim neighborhood watch captain. So I don't know if she has any words to say to the group or any questions for you. So Miss Hutman, you can go ahead and.
Yes, thank you, Miss Kelly. I apologize firstly for the technical difficulties here. My name is Jacqueline Hutman. I've been a resident of Wellington for 20 years. I sit on the Village of Wellington's Public Safety Committee, and on behalf of the committee, we would like to thank those neighbors joining us today for the Sugar Pond Manor Neighborhood Watch Group meeting. The purpose of our gathering is to continue to develop and build the collective neighborhood watch network for the Sugar Pond Manor subdivision of Wellington, Florida. Since we're such a large subdivision, as Gloria mentioned, in order to grow this collaborative Sugar Pond effort, the village is in need of a variety of individuals from throughout Sugar Pond willing to serve as Black street captains. In essence, you'd be an info relayer, sharing updates, info from the village project manager, which is Gloria, to neighbors on your street, and likewise, have an ear to the ground on issues, suggestions, and matters of importance to your neighbors. Several years ago, the village held a neighborhood watch meeting outside of my home to acquaint the residents of Stirrup Lane, Autumn, and Paddock Drive about the village's desire to develop a neighborhood watch program for all of Sugar Pond Manor. The meeting was an interest group meeting here that we had, again, several years ago. It was extremely informative and a lot of fun. PBSO and Fire Rescue gave great presentations and provided us with a wealth of safety tips and collateral, including some fun stuff for the kids. Neighbors were afforded a unique opportunity to meet one another and engage in meaningful conversations about their neighborhood. So if it would be greatly appreciated if you could help out and become a Black captain. So anyone who might want to take on that important role, please contact Gloria Kelly, project manager at gkelly@wellingtonfl.gov.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hutman. And I would like to share, I did send out an email this morning to residents who have attended our past Neighborhood Watch joint meetings, walk and talks, and other events. And we have heard back from a few neighbors in the Sugar Pond Manor neighborhood. So we will be setting up block captains throughout. So again, if anyone else is interested, do not hesitate to reach out and we can get that started for your street.
And Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Can you hear me? If I
I can
may
hear you.
add to that, another benefit that I'd like everybody in attendance to be aware of is that is a great way for you to interact with people like myself and other components of PVSO without having to dial 911. Sometimes there's a problem that just warrants a discussion, and it's easier to interface with us that way to solve some issues, primarily like ones that are even in the chat that I'll address in a moment. When you have a question or something in particular about something in your neighborhood that you can get somebody to stop by, or even a phone call that might answer some questions that you have that you don't want in a public forum. Also, we're aware that everybody is busy. There's a lot going on in our daily lives. We don't want you to think of involvement as another thing to do or anything stressful. This is your best opportunity to actually, there's nothing like this that I've seen, to be able to interface with the village manager, anything that you believe would make where you live or the areas around and your gathering better for you overall, or better for you and your neighbors. So don't disregard it as something that isn't substantial to us. We've had a lot of little problems that have arisen that have been solved via this venue, and the attentions and all of the resources that PBSO and the other people here have to be able to attend to the need that you have there. So please don't be afraid to reach out thinking it's going to be cumbersome or complicated. Most of the time it comes down to a conversation or just involvement, just like we're having now. To address the question by Mr. Price, there is, I did bring up the park earlier. What I can do is, if it's just one concern or anybody else has it and they're worried about any kind of repercussions for that, or it's more private, please reach out to me by email. I am aware of some of those issues that you mentioned, Mr. Price. There is a lot we can do. There is not a lot of, it might involve tradecraft with PBSO and how we do business. So I won't necessarily put it up here, but I will let you know that I can reach out to you if you reach Ms. Kelly or I by email and find out times, dates, particulars about the problem at hand, and we will see what resources will best solve that circumstance. We have had issues with some of the other neighborhood parks. Again, those tend to trend seasonally on and off when there are a lot more people back or the kids aren't in school. And we need just the type of question you're asking now to be able to remedy that. Again, you have that smartphone. So if it's not going to create any issue with you engaging or putting yourself in harm's way by interacting with the people that you may or may not know, record the behavior you're seeing within the park. It doesn't have to be as blatant as you walking up on them with your smartphone, but any way that you can safely get us the data to see the type of behavior that might be happening. Or there's the standard, there's the non-emergency line, which I can give you via email, or other ways like email that you can explain what's going on and we'll address it that manner. Hopefully that answers the questions that you put in particular. Always, I'm careful if it's neighborhood or particular kids. I don't ever want to try to highlight any interpersonal issues with neighbors here in this venue, but I would definitely like to reach out to you to be able to answer that, and hopefully that addressed the question.
Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to enter into the chat for any of us at this time?
Okay, I see the new one as well, Ms. Kelly, about
Okay.
the noise ordinance. Yes, there is some point. I will have to check the state statutes on that to see if it used to require us to have a decibel meter, things of that sort. I think now it's simply if the arriving deputy can hear it from the distance that is unreasonable or reasonable depending on its proximity to the call. So that is something that we can also discuss. But to answer the question directly, yes, there is. It involves feet and how loud the gathering or instance is. What I will ask, especially when it comes to a noise complaint, the one thing that I would always try, depending on, as long as you don't already have a issue or bad relationship with the neighbor in question, is to politely knock and let them know. Sometimes they're just not aware that the gathering that they're having is that disruptive. So if you have never met or made contact with them, if you knock and let them know politely that it's causing a disturbance to where you live, you might get easier results out of that. If the reaction that you're getting is positive or seems adversarial, then of course reach out to law enforcement. You can always email me for the non-emergency line to call that. And then when some of the more pressing calls are out of the way, we can address that at that time.
Thank you very much, Deputy Harper. Again, we will be uploading this meeting recording on our Wellington Neighborhood Watch webpage. So if any of your neighbors or people just on your street missed this meeting and they want to know what was discussed, we will be having that on our webpage, as well as everyone who registered today for this meeting, either on the line right now or they happen to miss the meeting, they will be receiving our e-newsletter tomorrow. So feel free again to share that with your neighbors or anyone else in Wellington. We're just really trying to grow the Neighborhood Watch program here and get everyone involved in keeping Wellington a great hometown and a safe hometown for everyone. So at this time, if there's no more questions, I will go ahead and conclude the meeting. But again, I just want to thank all of you for being here today or virtually. And again, any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us.